Hi guys, welcome back to the HUBient channel. This is Stella Bella. Now for those of you who have been following me for a while, you're probably aware that I do run my own business, my own company, and I've been doing that for a very long time now, and I started my first business when I was 15 years old. And I'm also lucky enough to have been nationally recognized for some of my business achievements as well. Today I really want to be able to share with you guys some of the experiences that I've learned and some of the things that I wish I was told when I first started my own business, because it would have made things so much easier. And it would have definitely prepared me mentally for what's about to come. So today's topic that I'll be sharing with you are the 6 things that you must know before you start your own business. And these tips will also apply even if you have started your own business and maybe in the first few months of it, or if you feel like your business really isn't going anywhere and you're not in the right space mentally, hopefully these tips will help you as well. Number 1, it's important to be realistic about your expectations and understand that for the first few months, maybe even the first year or so, you will be doing everything. So not only are you the boss, but you're also the salesperson, the bookkeeper, the receptionist. You're going to have to be everything. And you're probably not going to get paid a whole lot either, if at all. So when you first start, you have to hustle. And it's perfectly fine to do that. There are days where you're going to feel like you're not getting anywhere, or you're just working so hard but you're not seeing the returns. That is perfectly normal. It's important to stay focused on your goal and understand that this is what it's like for everyone. Unless you have, say, investors or a large sum of money to help you out at the start where you can hire people to work for you, you are probably going to be the only person in your business. But it's also important to remember that there's important work and there's also busy work. So just make sure that anything that you're doing, it actually contributes to helping your business grow, helping it build a foundation, rather than just busy work where you're procrastinating on the things that you don't want to do. It's really easy when you first start a business to just end up doing everything. Anything that gets thrown at you, you put in 110%. But there's only so much that our bodies and our minds are able to produce. And if you are being super productive on something that only gives you maybe 20% of the returns, and you're neglecting on something really massive that could be bringing in 80% of your business, that's going to be an issue. So make sure you're identifying what work is most important and you're working on that. Number 2, it's very likely that you're going to get haters or people who just don't agree with what you're doing. And they might be people who are jealous of you, people who used to know you, people who you thought were friends at one stage, people who are your family members, or even the person who is the closest to you, like your partner or your wife or husband, because they just don't understand what it is that you're doing. If you are going to run your own business, it's very important to have a thick skin. Now, if it's a family member, a lot of the times family members, they don't really support you because it's a change or they feel like it's something risky. The most likely reason is that they are worried about you, they're worried about how risky it is to start your own business, especially in today's economy, and they would much prefer to see you settle with a secure 9-to-5 job where the risk is placed on somebody else who owns the business. And that's perfectly fine for them to do that. It's normal for families to worry about people they care about. If it's people who are close to you, your friends or your loved ones or your husband or wife, they're the closest person to you and they're not supporting you, it can be a little bit tough, but it could just be because they're uncomfortable with what's about to come, because it is a big change. And it's not so much that they're hating your idea or hating what you do and not supporting you, but they're just worried about what this change actually means for your relationship. Now, when it comes to things like families, friends, it's just really important to have open communication. So if you are deciding to start your own business, maybe even before the changes start happening, sit them down and involve them in the process. Explain to your family members who are worried why you are doing what you're doing and how you're mitigating the risks that they're bringing to the table. If they do have a legitimate risk, it's even better that you guys sit down and discuss it. Maybe they've got some valid points that you haven't even thought about, but you should be thinking about. And by talking it through, they're able to help you uncover things that you should have a plan for if it were to happen. And same thing, if your partner isn't supporting you the way you want them to, sit them down, have a conversation, and let them know how they'll still be included, how they're still involved in this big grand plan of yours, and that they're not going to be left behind. If they're worried about the lack of time that you'll spend with them, let them know your schedule. Actually plan one out, and together with the other person, plan out a schedule where you'll still be able to work on your business, but you won't be neglecting your duties at home, your responsibilities as a wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, father, mother, whatever it is that your duties are in life. Let them know that you haven't forgotten that. You're not throwing this old life behind. You're just adding something more to complement it. And this is how it'll benefit not only you, but the relationship and them as well down the future. As long as there's open communication and they understand what you're doing and why, it's more than likely that they're going to support you. Now, if it's people that don't even know you, people that were once friends and they have no reason to hate on you other than they're jealous or they don't quite understand it and they're giving you a chance to explain, those people you don't need to give the time of day to. Don't waste your time on people who are not willing to listen or who are jealous of what you're doing simply because they didn't do it first. Use that time and energy on your business and understand that every industry, everyone who starts their own thing, even if it's not related to business, if there's a change in you and people can see it, you're bound to get people who don't like it. So just focus on what you're doing, shut out the haters, and eventually, if they're worth your time, they will understand and they will come back to you. Number 3, make sure to set some good habits in place right from the start. It's really easy to tunnel vision on your goal and just focus only on that and neglect everything else around you. But it is very important, especially when it comes to business and bookkeeping and record keeping, to make sure you have good systems in place. So make sure you are starting everything off with a clean slate. Make sure you lock in those systems nice and early so that whenever you have a record of some sort to keep, paperwork that you have to file away, you know exactly where they go. Because the last thing you want is when you get into the growth stage of your business and the tax man or even your accountant asking to see records from 2 years ago. And you have to waste your precious time trying to find that paperwork because you didn't have a good system in place to file that away. Number 4, make sure to only do the work that makes a difference. Have substance as a business owner. Now, I've seen a lot of people who start their own business because they like to say that they're a business owner. So they like to play business rather than run a business or do business. I think a lot of people romanticize the idea of being a business owner and how much freedom it brings, how much envy they're going to get amongst their friends. So they'll start a business and go out and the first thing they say is that I'm a business owner, and they identify themselves as that, without actually doing the work it takes to be a business owner. Make sure whatever it is that you're doing with your day, it's not just networking and socializing and going to business seminars to be seen. Make sure you are actually trying to build a business. You have clear goals of where you want your business to head in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and you're working towards that. And you're doing the things that it takes to get there. For a lot of people who play business, they'll find that eventually, within months, they haven't actually earned any profit. In fact, they've spent a lot of money. They've had a lot of expenses because they're busy promoting and marketing more themselves as a business owner rather than the business itself. So if you do want your business idea to work and you want that business to last, make sure you are doing the work that matters and make sure you're focused on bringing in the new business and bring in clients, and just make sure you're actually looking at the numbers, the profitability of what you're doing versus the aesthetics and the face value and how many people are going to be at the event that you're attending. Number 5, don't compare yourself to others. When you compare yourself to others, you're bound to feel bad and you're bound to lose focus of your end goal. You become FOMO, fear of missing out, and you start to base your business decisions based on what someone else is doing, which is very dangerous territory because what they're doing, their target market might be different to yours. Their business plan and goals might be different. Where they want to be in 5 or 10 years' time, it might be completely different to where you want to be. And most importantly, whatever it is that they're doing, they're already doing it. So if you try to emulate that, it's not going to be the same. And not only that, but you'll always be operating your business one step behind the people that you're looking at. And I found that personally, when I stopped looking at what other people are doing, my business just skyrocketed. I was a lot more creative in what I did, and I was able to tailor it to my clients, the clients that I was getting, the clients that I was attracting, because it was a different target market to the people that I was looking at. And in turn, the clients that I was able to make happy because I was focused on more of what they wanted, they went out there and through word of mouth told all their friends, family members, acquaintances about the services that I offered. And that brought in more and more clients that were suited to my company. And eventually I actually found out that a couple of the companies that I stopped looking at, they started looking at me and they started copying what I was doing, which meant not only were they wasting their time, but they are now one step behind me. Last but not least, hire slow and fire fast. This is something that I've learned from a very popular business mentor called Alan Hill. That was something he preached all the time, and I completely agree. Unfortunately for my business, because it is more a service-based industry and it's built on the connections that my staff has with our clients, hiring slow, yes. Firing fast is a little bit harder. But for those of you who are more in the product-based industry or where customer connection between individual employees doesn't need to be as strong, definitely follow this rule. And it just basically means that you need to pick the right people for your team. The people you hire need to be able to share the same vision as you, understand what your vision is, and help you to steer your company ship towards that vision. As your business starts to grow as well, your employees will be the front-facing people of your business. They'll be the first people that your customers will come in contact with. They're the ones who'll probably be in charge of sales, who'll be in charge of inquiries, talking to your customers. So they need to share the same vision. They need to be able to operate in the best interest for your business, not for themselves. And if you do hire someone who you later discover is not quite there, you need to be able to get rid of them fast. Personally, I'm quite lucky to have a really good team on board. But there has been times where we've let a bad seed or two in, and it really drives down the morale of the team, and it really affects the entire team, not just themselves. So really important that you are very careful when you're hiring, when you're recruiting, that you are looking for the right characters, the people who understand your vision and will work well with your existing team. And just remember that someone can look amazing on paper, but if their personality or their morals and ethics and their vision is different to yours, or they're not a team player, or their personality might just clash with the rest of your team, then it's not worth it, because a lot of the skills that are on paper can be trained, but a personality, morals, ethics, integrity, all that stuff can't be trained as easily. So just be very careful with who you pick to come into this business that you've worked so hard to build up. You don't want to allow anyone in who might destroy all of your hard work. So that was a very truncated version of some of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my years of business. There are, of course, a lot more that I can elaborate on, a lot more points that I can bring up. But those 6 are probably the ones that when I look back on when I first started my business, I wish I had known. So I hope they help those of you out there who are thinking about starting your own business or are just about to start your own business. But that is all from me today. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got any comments, questions, please drop it below. Make sure to click like and subscribe on our channels, HUBient Agency, HUBient Talents, and please make sure to follow me on social media as well. My social media is stellabella.au, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Feel free to send me a message, ask me any questions, or if you want me to elaborate on any of the points that I discussed today, please let me know and I can do a future follow-up video. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful week and good luck in achieving all of your business goals and dreams. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.